Welcome to the Monday edition of the Bearded Prophet. What a weekend it has been. What we are seeing since the debate took place on Thursday is a seismic shift. Biden has gone into Hiden. Joe Biden and his son Hunter, and I mean, they're trying to avoid the press. There's crickets at their rallies. I mean, that's been true for a while, but Trump is just surging. I call it the Trump Surge 2020, or just the Trump Surge. Get ready to see more of that, especially in the 7, 8, 9 days that we have left. Guys, he is cresting at the right time, and that is why I think the media was pressing so much for early voting, because yeah, Biden may have been ahead or was doing well, but man, the luster's coming off, the scandals, and then just the momentum of the people, the raw momentum of the American people is showing through. Quick case in point, Trump, get this, Biden's hiding in his basement. He's doing no events and hardly any rallies or anything over the most crucial final week of the election. He has almost nothing planned. He's getting up there, folks. He's almost 78 years old. And Trump, on the other hand, is getting stronger than ever. He's in 4 states in a day. He is campaigning like a champion. Why? He actually loves this country. He actually wants to be president. He's not doing this to serve a party's political interests. The Republican Party didn't even want him. He was not the establishment's choice. But Donald J. Trump has so much conviction. He has fire within. And that gives him this stamina to compete and to campaign like a man much younger than him. Much younger than him. And Biden is looking his age. And as these wheels come off his campaign, come off his image, come off his running mate, come off his sons and his family, he's just sinking deeper into that hole. Guys, he's going the way of John Kerry. I've talked about it before. You won't even remember his name in a few more years. Forgotten and just washed up Washington lifelong politician. Not going to happen. But just a quick case in point, Trump was in Maine on Sunday and stopped at an orchard, a family farm, an orchard. They have goats, they have apples and things like that. And like several thousand people showed up. And the only thing is in Maine. Okay, Maine's a small state. Not that many people live there. And it was a last minute kind of an unannounced or fairly, unannounced private little event. It was not a big invitation, not a lot of advance notice. And thousands, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people mobbed this event. And Trump had a great time being around people. Now, the only thing the liberal media could say to try to knock it down was COVID, COVID, COVID. Oh my gosh, look at these people. They must be spreading the virus left and right. Oh man, the Trump campaign isn't stopping these people from coming in there, not forcing them to wear masks. They're outside people. But they're not doing that. And the owners of the orchard, they're allowing these people in. And the guy's like, if they want to come, I'm going to let them come. And guys, this is the most clear, one of the many clear differentials that we see. Republicans believe strongly in personal responsibility. Human beings are fallen, we can make good decisions or we can make bad, and in most cases, we have to live with the consequences of our decisions. And so freely, President Trump has chosen throughout this campaign to not camp out in a basement, not hide away, not run away or shy away from the virus. He still holds events, he still travels, and eventually, after months of doing that, he did eventually succumb to the virus. And then, what did he do? He recovered. He got better, and now he's stronger than ever. What the enemies and his detractors thought was a knockout punch, I mean, he came out of that well and is shooting to the heights. And that's really the way that he chooses to live. Oh, sure, there's problems, there's threats, there's things going on, but I'm going to live life. I want you to keep your business open. I want you to move forward, and this country moving forward instead of this globalist lockdown and conspiracy to wreck the economy and get everyone in fear and then everyone under the weight of other things. So we give up control and give up power. And so he's continued to run his life and his campaign that way, believing that people are adults, believing that people can make their own decisions and live with the consequences of those decisions. Folks, this is so important. Liberals hate this. They don't want you to even have a choice, and they don't believe you're able to make a choice. And so therefore they try to eliminate you don't even have a choice, so that way they can control the outcome. But they don't want to let you rise up, and then if you fail, you just pay the price. No, and they come with so much, we don't want you to fail. We don't want you to get sick. We don't want you to have any risk. So just give up all your power and all your freedom, and no one will get hurt. It's this perfect pie in the sky utopian world. The government will take care of everything for you. No risk, no fear, no harm, no foul, nothing. And nothing at all. Nothing will ever happen. And they're kind of right. Nothing will. The economy will shut down. Small businesses are shutting down. People's lives and livelihood are being wrecked. And it's all in the name of this pandemic and this global attempt to shift power and to take power from the people. And Trump is standing there with his finger in the dam, or his other finger saying, we're not doing it. And the liberal media and the leftist agenda hate it. They are so threatened by this man and the freedom he exudes. Why? Because he actually believes it. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, seasoned politicians. They're doing whatever they're told. They're supporting party dynamics and the powers that be and the puppet strings and all that kind of stuff. And we have this anomaly, this leader in Donald Trump, who says, I'm doing what I think is best. I'm my own man. He came in independently wealthy. He didn't come in on the coattails of the party backers and the kingmakers and all the normal ways that people get in to be president. Obama got in that way. Or he didn't have political experience to merit being president. He hadn't even been in politics that long. And yeah, he was a senator, but I think he was the junior senator. I mean, he was not this, long-standing seasoned politician, but he was smart. He was a good orator. And he had a story that engaged with a lot of people. And so the kingmakers, the cherry pickers, the people that kind of control the party are like, that's the guy who can forward our agenda. I remember even when they were talking to Obama when he left office, and they were asking him, like, what's your reflection on being president for 8 years? And have you gotten better? Or how has it been? Is it easier to be president? And he actually said these words. He said, well, I've gotten better at doing the job. I've gotten better at doing the job. In other words, there's these demands that are made on you. I remember even when Jimmy Carter took over the presidency, he wanted to be in charge of running the White House tennis court, because I guess he just had a passion about how it was managed. And also I remember hearing from other people, like, someone wanted to be appointed to an office or a diplomat position or some government office that he could appoint. And he actually said to them, it's not my decision. It's not my decision. In other words, there are kingmakers and kingpins and party bosses over me who tell me you have to give these 3 seats to these people or these offices to these people, probably because they donated a lot of money. And I know George W. Bush did this. Absolutely he did. He rewarded his donors and his backers. Hey, you back me, I'll appoint you diplomat to this nation, or I'll give you this seat in government, whether or not you're really qualified. So my point is, it happens on the right and it happens on the left. But Obama was like, I got better at doing this job. It's a job. And that means you're not actually the boss fully. You're employed by other people. But that's the difference with Trump. Most politicians are beholden to those who got them into power, who gave them the most money, who selected them as the heir apparent or the nominee. And you see no difference with Biden and Harris. They're seasoned politicians. They've come up and they're beholden to those who have picked them or allowed them to get the nomination. But as I've said many a time, the Republicans didn't even want Trump. The higher-ups, the powers that be, those that control the party, the kingmakers, he was not their choice. And they were even bold about that. But he's America's choice. And I also, like I've said, I firmly believe he is God's choice for this hour. I believe he cannot be stopped. He will not be stopped. He will prevail. Another thing I want to talk about is just the alternate reality that we're seeing. And that is the media's portrayal of, like, Biden's ahead, he's going to win, everything is great, versus the reality of no one's showing up at his rallies, he's hiding in a basement again, and things are getting worse by the day, by the hour with the Hunter Biden email scandals. They're not faked, from what we can tell. They actually are legit. They were his emails and his laptop, not a Russian plant, and it's not going well at all for the Biden campaign. But if you look at the mainstream media, they're painting this picture of, nope, Trump has no shot, Biden's going to win just like 2016. But then you step away from that and you go on Twitter, or you just look at, firsthand media accounts, which is real people on the ground. And they're like, look at this Trump rally here and there. And in key battleground states, Trump is surging. He's campaigning like a beast. He's coming in like a man much younger and stronger than he is. I mean, he is strong and he's young at heart. And thousands upon thousands of people are mobbing, lining up in the streets to see him. And yet the media won't tell you that, the mainstream media. They're like, oh, Trump can't win, Biden's ahead, Biden's the king, Biden's going to take it. And yet there's this roar among American people. There is this surge in Trump and around him and receiving toward him of people signing up left and right. And then you look at the movements like Blexit, black exit from the Democratic Party, which they've been in the clutches of for 80, 90 years. By and large, African Americans have been voting Democrat in almost lockstep with the party for decades. And now finally, in this day and age, and under this candidate, Donald Trump, we are seeing calls for Blexit, blacks exiting the liberal and the Democrats and saying, no, it's okay, and we're going to vote conservative, and we're proud. We're going to tweet about it, shout about it, broadcast it. We're not going to back down. And we see things shifting in this country. Donald Trump is a change agent. And I will talk more about that because there will be many good changes and, yes, some negative changes. And sometimes that negativity is reaction to his changes. It's not necessarily Trump being negative, but it's people that hate him and despise him and disagree so strongly with him that they will do just about anything. I've heard well-confirmed reports that one of the Democrats' strategies for dealing with a Trump win, if and when, or as I firmly believe he will prevail in the November election, is that California, Oregon, and Washington will secede or threaten to secede from the United States. These three Western states are going to threaten or try to become their own country, because they hate what's going on in America. They hate that Trump wants to return us to traditional values, the integrity of the Constitution, basic rights for all, that he's not a flaming racist, that he actually wants to lift blacks up and others up with economic policies that lift all boats, that he wants to stop abortion, the shedding of innocent blood, and he wants to do and he's putting a woman on the court. He doesn't hate women. I mean, all the things that the left tries to label him with, and he's not. But they can't stand the righteousness. They can't stand the changes that he's making. And so one of the contingency plans is to have those states secede. And there's more talk of trying to break up the United States. I mean, the coasts, the East and the West Coasts are by and large blue states and much more liberal. And then the middle of the country and the South is much more conservative. And I don't want to see this country break apart. But there have been prophecies of something like a civil war, another civil war coming, and the U.S. fracturing into something like 6 zones and kind of having martial law declared. I mean, there's a lot of things that have been prophesied, many of which I believe will come true. I don't know if it's now or in a year or 5 years. I don't know all the circumstances. But there's a knowing in my spirit that these harsh divisions are coming. So while I certainly hope for, pray for, and celebrate another Trump win, I'm also under no illusion that it'll just be peace, calm, and normalness the moment he gets in, which, again, could take a while because of the liberal entrenched work to get him out. They've tried for all these years on the whole Russia collusion thing, and they can't get a grip, but they won't let it go. And it's just the corruption we're seeing in the media is just abundantly clear. The last point I want to make is that on Monday, this evening, the Senate is expected to vote on the confirmation of Justice Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. And it was amazing. I actually didn't watch a lot of the proceedings or follow kind of the blow-by-blow accounts, but for those of you that did, or if you just need a summary, it seems like the liberal and the Democratic senators did their best to draw up dirt on this woman or paint her in a negative light, and they just couldn't do it. That it wasn't simply the Republican majority just steamrolling her through, but they just didn't have much to grab onto. She's an incredibly talented, intelligent, qualified woman of integrity, woman of justice who is fit to serve on the bench. And as one of my friends, a former constitutional attorney who came on a few episodes ago, pointed out, even when Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was being confirmed, I believe it was in the 90s, here she was, super liberal, super left, super democratic. And yet most of the Republicans, I think it was 96-0, voted in favor of her. Why? Not because they agreed with her policies, but the test of the Senate is this person fit to serve on the Supreme Court? Are they qualified to analyze the Constitution and make judicial decisions with integrity? And the overwhelming consensus was yes. Not do we agree with her stances on abortion or civil rights or all these different things, as important as those issues are. The Senate is not asked those questions. It is asked, is this man or woman qualified? Would they be a juror of integrity, a jurist, or a judge? And so in the same way that most or all the Republicans voted in favor of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, although I'm sure most of them opposed all or almost all of her political views, she was robustly qualified to sit on that bench. And the same is true with Justice Amy Coney Barrett. And so again, as much as the left would love to block her and stop her, they simply couldn't. I mean, they tried everything with Justice Brett Kavanaugh a few years ago, even digging up all kinds of insane dirt, making up stories, false accusations, witches hexing him. I mean, it was off the charts evil, just manifest evil. Why? Because they were scared of another justice who has integrity, who can actually see right from wrong, see what the Constitution says, and accurately apply it. As we talked about, Roe versus Wade is bad law. Even people on the left, many of them will admit that. It's not actually written in the Constitution. There's nothing in the Constitution about a right to abortion or anything like that. And the right to privacy that the judges used in 1973 was not even found in the Constitution. It was found in what they call the penumbra, the light shining around the Constitution. So if you can't find it in the document, just pretend it's around it, and then you can make it into law. So I've even heard plenty of people on the left admit Roe is not good law. It's not based on a real foundation. It's not in the text of the Constitution. And that's one of the changes Justice Scalia, who passed away not that long ago, brought to the court. And even Ruth Bader Ginsburg admitted that. And she and Scalia were polar opposites on the political spectrum. But they were actually good friends and their families' friends off the court. And that's more of what we need in this country. Is people can say, I disagree with you wholeheartedly politically, but I can still talk to you, maybe even have a coffee or hang out with you. Guys, this alone would help us a lot in our families and even in our workplaces. The left is trying to fracture this country and break America apart, but we've long been a country that allows a diversity. It's funny how intolerant the left gets of anyone who doesn't go along with its opinions. This supposedly tolerant left, and like you can be and do whatever you want, we'll accept you. Anything except disagree with us. Anything except hold a differing viewpoint. Guys, there's nothing more intolerant than the radical left. They are incredibly intolerant. They call Trump all kinds of bad names, falsely accuse him of all kinds of things, and usually it's the very things they are doing. And so I do applaud, and I'm very pleased that Justice Barrett will almost certainly be confirmed to the Supreme Court. I don't think this is in any way, or in any majority of a way, a political move, as was declared. Trump is elected for 4 years, and I believe 4 more, but during those 4 years he has complete right as president to do what he is elected to do, and that is to fill seats on that bench as he has done. So don't believe the hype, don't believe the lies. If the shoe were on the other foot, the liberal media would make every justification for a liberal president putting in another liberal justice. In fact, they would applaud it. But because it's Trump, they make it sound like he's a horrible person. And as was also pointed out in that episode on the Constitution, Trump gave a list of judges even before he was elected. These are the kinds of judges I would put in. And a list of actual people, and I very much would believe that Justice Barrett was on that list. So none of this is a surprise. It's not like he just pulled her out of his hat suddenly, well, I got 60 days left before the election, I might as well just put her in there. Shocker! No! Absolute lies. Trump has said from the start, these are the kinds of justices I will appoint. Those who love the Constitution and have a clear understanding of what it says and what it doesn't. So I very much celebrate and urge you to join me in celebrating. And now the liberals are doing whatever they can to claim that, this election will end up going before the Supreme Court because it'll be so disputed and she will be the key vote because now there's 6 conservatives and 3 liberals. And what if her first case is to decide on Trump's, election win or not? And, he's the one that put her in and all that. Guys, one reason she's being voted for is I believe she actually has the integrity to look at, again, what is the real situation here? What a horrible knock on this woman who has an excellent record and was even going in there with an empty notebook of notes and actually answering from what she really already knows and believes, to say that she would not be able to make a fair decision. Guys, I just don't believe that. It's fear-mongering at the end of the day. Now, I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. Let me leave you with kind of my last point here. I am believing, praying, hoping, and celebrating Trump wins in a landslide. I firmly believe it. I love it. I'm seeing it, the Trump surge. He is peaking in the swing states, in the key states, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, and Florida, Ohio. I mean, Trump is campaigning there. He's like a beast. He is strong. He is vibrant. And people are turning out. And the wool is being pulled off their eyes. Biden is fading fast. And he's heading into a political oblivion as we speak. So what's my takeaway for you today? Patriots, take heart. People that really love America, take heart. Lovers of God and of the Bible and of Jesus Christ, take heart. God has promised that many trials are coming, many trials are already here, but Jesus said, take heart, I have overcome the world. And I can't guarantee you that there aren't, in fact, I can guarantee you many more problems are ahead, whether Trump wins or he doesn't. Again, I firmly believe that he will, but even his victory will spark trouble in some of the responses, and then there's trouble assured us in the Bible. That's John 16:33. Jesus says, in this world you will have tribulation, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And so, yes, I'm excited about what's going on in this country. I celebrate. I am ecstatic. And I do believe and pray Trump will win in a decisive landslide. That the liberal media will be shocked, will fall off their rocker even worse than they did in 2016, when they couldn't believe Trump got in the first place. But I'm seeing that alternate reality where the media is just endlessly knocking Trump down, saying he has no chance and Biden's totally ahead in all the polls, and yet no one shows up at his rallies. He's hiding in a basement, and Trump is just surging. Trump is a juggernaut. So please take heart, but don't stop praying. That is my takeaway for today.